thought we'll get just a quick stretch routine to get hips, shoulders and upper body going. So if you start off down on your back, opening the arms out to the side, bending the knees, walking the feet up and towards you. Feet and knees are nice and close together. Taking the legs together to the right, encouraging the hips to rotate, the back to move to one side. I'm going to ease them back to the center, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So just a nice rocking movement, just to see if you can be aware of keeping the top leg on top of the bottom leg, otherwise it just becomes a little bit of a wave with the legs. So see if I can be aware of the hips moving, the back, twisting the back, rotating one way, coming back and then rotating to the other side. Avoiding extension, so making sure that the shoulders are staying on the ground, especially the opposite shoulder. If the shoulder lifts away, it's normally when the back starts extending, starts arching. See if I can keep it relaxed, or see if I can keep it on the mat. If I find that the movement feels quite loose, it feels quite relaxed, then I'm going to add a little load. So the next one, instead of keeping the feet down onto the mat, I'm going to lift the feet away. Curling the knees into the chest. Keeping them nice and close to the chest, I'm going to take the legs to one side. As far to the side as I can go, but without letting the feet or the knees touch the ground. Easing the legs back to the middle, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So see if I can still encourage that rotation, but this time a little bit harder as I'm supporting the weight of the legs. Just notice the knees. The tendency is when we don't have strength through the middle is for the knees to move away. So as the leg moves away, the back is arching again to take the legs to the side. See if you can encourage the legs to stay close to you. So front of the hip, front of the belly active, to keep the legs closed. So as the legs move to the side, it's just a twist, it's just a rotation. There is no arching into the back. There is no hyperextension. I'm going to try one more time each way. And releasing back. Dropping the feet back down. I'm going to roll over onto the side, and then this time I'm going to focus more onto the upper body, onto the upper back. I'm going to keep the bottom leg extended, the top leg I'm going to bend and drop it down on the mat in front of me. Hip replacement, especially if it's a recent one, you might need something under the knee. You might just want to tuck the legs at the front so that the knee doesn't drop down too far, the leg doesn't start coming across the front of the body. Bottom arm, I'm going to reach it straight forward, straight ahead until I'm resting on the back of the shoulder. The head is on the mat or towel block underneath the head to support it. I'm going to take a deep breath in, and then as I breathe out, I'm going to start raising the top arm up and towards the ceiling, and then imagine to be turning towards the ceiling and then opening the arms wide as you're there. So I'm going to rotate towards the ceiling and then opening the arms nice and wide to see if I can encourage a little bit more movement at the top. Nice gentle stretch across the front of the shoulder. Easing the arm all the way back, and then I'm going to try again. Opening and closing the door. Focus on the position of the arm that you're taking behind. The tendency is for people to focus on, I need to put my hand on the floor. You can all put the hand on the floor badly by twisting the shoulder, by dropping the arm. Instead of doing that, see if you can make the stretch count. So can I make sure that as the arm is coming around at the back, I'm keeping it close to the head. I'm not letting it drop to the hips. So the shoulder is not suddenly coming up to my chin, to my face. The shoulder is away. I can feel a nice pull going across the front of the chest. I'm going to try 2 more times on this side. So opening and closing that door. Last one. And releasing back. Giving the shoulder a little bit of a roll. swinging the legs to the front, pushing yourself up into sitting. Taking the legs straight down to the other side, and then I'm going to set the position on the other side. So same as before, allowing the top leg to drop down onto the mat. The bottom leg is extended away. Bottom arm, I'm going to pull it right through until I'm resting on the back of the shoulders. I'm already slightly rotated to the ceiling. Head supported if I need the support underneath, focusing on the ribcage, focusing on that top arm. I'm going to turn the ribcage to face up and towards the ceiling, opening the arms out nice and wide. And then I'm going to ease my way back, making sure that the knee is still down on the ground, so the movement is coming from my upper body, not from my hips and not from my legs. If you find that the rotation is causing a little bit of a pinching at the back of the pelvis, right at the top of the pelvis, back here, that's normally because the leg is too far down. So as I rotate, it's squashing it through. If I pull the leg up a little bit higher, it just gives a little bit more space at the back. So I should be able to get rid of that pinch. So play with the position of the knee, see if you can pull it up a little bit closer to the chest. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. So a little bit more movement into the back, across the front of the chest. I'm going to change the direction of the movement. Bending the knees, walking the feet up and towards you. Feet and knees about to hips width apart, the arms are nice and relaxed down the side. I'm going to push down through the soles of the feet and then squeeze in with the back of the bum. I'm going to start extending through the front of the hips. So opening up the front of the hips, so think of your thighs reaching out of your hip socket. So making sure that I'm not rolling the weight into my shoulders and into my head. And then on the way down, think of segmental control. So imagine to be releasing one vertebra down at the time, starting from your upper back. Tilting the pelvis to see if you can make the transition between the upper back and the lower back as smooth. Then as the lower back is touching the ground, then I'm going to release the back of the hips at the back of the bum, all the way back into neutral, and then I'm going to squeeze my way up into that lift again. 2. And then rolling down. Notice any tension through the chest, through the neck. See if you can let go of that tension. Think of the back releasing, not the neck stiffening. 3. And rolling down. 2 more times. If you can feel that the back of the leg is getting stiffer, so I'm on the verge of the cramp or I am cramping up, then it's normally a sign that the bum is not doing a great job. The hamstring is working twice as hard, it will cramp up. So see if you can encourage the bum to really squeeze. So can I really exaggerate it? Can I clench and drive my way up into that lift? Last time. Squeezing up. And releasing back down. It's giving the legs a little walk and making sure that the back of the leg doesn't feel too stiff, too tight. And then I'm going to stretch into the hamstrings. So grabbing hold of your band, strap, belt, anything that you can find, and then setting the band around the right foot. Ball of the foot preferably, as I can get a nice stretch through the back of the cuff as well. If the band is too far down, I can't get the same traction into the foot. I'm going to extend the left leg away along the floor, keeping it bent. If you find that suits your back better, just be aware, as if with the bent knee, the tendency that your hips will start curling away from the ground are much higher, especially if the hamstrings are tight. with the leg extended away, then it's easier to hold the hips down. I'm going to straighten up the right leg, making sure that the knee is locked, not hyperextended, so I'm not bending it backwards, but it's not flexed, so I'm not bending it forward either. So nice straight leg. Once that I've got the straight leg, then I'm going to ease that leg gently towards me until I can start feeling the stretch. Just on a scale 1 to 10, you're about 6. I'm going to hold the leg steady there, allowing the leg to get used to the pull. And then get a nice solid grip on the band. So reaching with the arms as high up as you can. It's better to hold high than to hold low. To hold low, I'll have to shrug my shoulders and really stiffen up with the neck. So hold high, I just need to lock the arm, and then that's it. Once that you've got control of the band, then I'm going to start to pushing away with the legs. So trying to distract the hamstrings. So think of pointing the foot slightly and pushing the leg away. So feeling all of the back of the leg actively working to try and move away. The arm is not going to allow the leg to go anywhere. So I'm going to hold it steady. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to stop resisting with the leg. See if you can pull a little bit closer. The leg should be able to move closer to you. I'm going to adjust my grip onto the band again, and then I'm going to try again. Pushing the foot away as if I was trying to point the foot away, pushing away the leg, holding that tension. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to stop pushing with the leg, keep pulling with the arms. So see if the leg wants to move a little bit closer. You should be able to move a little bit more. I'm going to adjust my grip onto the band again, and then I'm going to try one last time. Push away with the foot, push away with the leg, hold that pressure. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to stop resisting with the leg, keep pulling with the arms as if the leg wants to move a little bit more. And then easing the pressure back. Releasing the leg down, giving the leg a little walk, a little shake. I'm going to repeat the same thing with the left side. So setting the strap around the ball of the left foot. I'm going to extend the right leg along the floor if possible, straightening out the left. And then I'm going to ease that left leg gently towards me. Trying to find that nice solid grip with the arm. Once that I feel that I've got that tension set, then I'm going to start resisting with the leg. So pushing away with the foot, pushing away with the leg, distracting the hamstring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to stop resisting with the leg, keep pulling with the arms. The leg should be able to move closer. Adjust the grip onto the band, holding steady, and then again push away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to stop resisting with the leg, keep pulling with the arms. The leg should be able to move a little bit more. One more time, just for luck, making sure that I'm really at the end of the range. I'm going to hold it tight with the arm. Push away with the leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to stop resisting with the leg, keep pulling with the arms. See if the leg wants to move a little bit more. And easing the stretch all the way back. Giving the leg a little walk and making sure that the leg doesn't feel too stiff, doesn't feel too tight. And then I'm going to change the direction of the pull. So this time rolling over onto your side, pushing yourself up into sitting. Trying to get a little bit of a stretcher through the inner thigh this time. Taking the legs out to the side. Aim for your knees to be at least as wide as the shoulders. If you can go wider, go wider. I'm going to find my seat bones, sit right on top of the seat bones. If the hips are tight, the tendency will be to sit backwards, so to be kind of like rounded and dropped. Use the block, towel, anything to raise the hips up slightly so that you can sit straighter. And then what I'm going to try and find is a bit of traction through the inner thigh. So I'm going to take a deep breath in, and then as I breathe out, I'm going to nudge the hips forward to see if I can try and lift, roll the pelvis forward as I'm doing so. So putting a little traction through the inside of the leg. I'm going to keep that traction steady there. And then if I feel that the tension is easing off, then I'm going to try and push a little bit wider. So see if I can get the feet to go further apart, the hips and the inner thigh to lengthen a little bit more. And then I'm just going to progressively see if I can go a little bit further and a little bit further until eventually I find that my legs don't go any further apart. I'm just going to hold it steady there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back, shuffling back gradually, giving the legs a little shake before you release it too quickly. And then once that you're ready, shuffling the legs all the way back in, just releasing the hips and releasing the inner thighs. So it's a little bit movement through the inside of the leg too. I'm going to try and get into the side of the hip, so stretching the side of the leg and then finishing off with the front of the hip. So for the side of the hip, I've got two options. If you can bear weight into the knee joint, then we're going to come up on all fours, stepping the left foot in front of the right knee, and then imagine it possible, it is possible, to get your shin bone nice and parallel to the front of your mat. So it's not at an angle, it's trying to stay parallel. I'm going to shuffle the right knee away and then dropping the hips down and towards the ground. I'm going to try and find the stretch into that left hip, into that left side. The more I sit to the left, the less the stretch, so the easier the stretch becomes. The more I try to stay square to the front, the heavier the stretch becomes. The foot will tend to move towards the hips as that takes the stretch away. So see if you can try and find that compromise where you're trying to hold the leg, the foot up high, finding enough stretch into that left hip, into the left side of the bum. If I find that this is not working for me, it's too much pressure on my knees, it's too painful, then I'm going to come up into sitting instead. I'm going to tuck the left foot on top of that right knee, and then I'm going to try and find my stretch that way. So I can pull the right leg towards me, I can push my chest towards the leg, so trying to get the same stretch going around that left hip into that left leg. I want you to hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back, releasing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to try exactly the same thing to the other side. So if you know that you can't put pressure on the knees, then lifting the right foot, tucking the foot on top of the left leg, and then see if I can get my stretch going this way from a seated position. If I can come up on all fours, then I'm going to step that right foot in front of that left knee. I'm going to shuffle the hips away, see if I can keep myself square through that right leg. And then same as on the other side. The more I roll to the right, the easier the stretch gets. The more I keep myself to the center, the deeper the stretch gets. The closer my foot gets to my hips, again, the easier the stretch. The further away the foot is from the hips, the stronger the stretch becomes. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Releasing the hips and releasing the leg. This is a little bit more stretcher through the side, bringing it to the front, pushing up onto hands and knees. I'm going to keep the left knee down on the ground, stepping the right foot forward. I'm going to keep both hands on the inside of that right leg, shuffling that left knee away until I feel the opening into the front of that left hip. I'm going to keep the hands on the ground, either side, same side of the leg, squeezing with the back of the bum. The hips are down and towards the floor. See if I can create a little bit of a traction into the hip. But to make it stronger, try not to let the bum shoot up in the air. Keep it low. See if you can start extending that left leg behind you. Same as before, if I find that I can't do this, my knee's too sore, it's too painful, then you can find the same stretch lying down onto the side, grabbing hold of the foot and then squeezing the leg behind you. It doesn't matter if the foot doesn't touch the bum, just to see if you can create enough traction that from the front of the hip it goes all the way down the thigh into the knee. 3, 2, 1, and easing back, releasing that leg, releasing the hip. I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the right side. So the right knee stays down on the ground, the left foot steps forward, hands either side, the same side of the leg, shuffling the right knee away, opening up that right hip. I'm going to squeeze the hips down and towards the ground, tucking the toes under. If I can make the stretch stronger, then I'm going to lift the knee but holding the hips. Or same as I did on the other side. If I can't do this type of stretch, then I'm going to roll over onto my side, grabbing hold of the foot, tucking the foot behind the hip, pushing the hip forward, lengthening down the front of the hip and the front of the leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Releasing the hip, releasing the leg. When you're ready, pushing yourself all the way back up into sitting. Finding a comfortable seated position, setting the left hand down by the side of the hips, scooping the right arm up and towards the ceiling. Try to create a nice lift up the right side of the body and then flex into the side. Let's see if I can move it over to one side. Easing back to the middle. Trying the same thing to the other side. Nice lift. Flexing the other way. Reach away. And releasing back. Hands together. I'm going to push away. Trying to round the back. Separate the shoulder blades as much as I can. And release. And then hands behind the back. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, lengthening through the arms, lifting through the front of the chest. And releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. I hope you've enjoyed the quick stretch routine and see you soon.